Hello everyone, I am HARSHA MANNAVA. Starting today, we are beginning a new set of video series called ANTHROPOLOGY. In this series, we will address some basic questions that many students tend to have regarding the subject of anthropology. Students at a very early stage, those who have just begun anthropology course, or those who are in the college final year and planning to take anthropology, or those who are just about to decide on which option to choose. They tend to have many queries. So here we will try to give an informed view on these issues. First, we'll begin with the most basic of all questions, that is, what is anthropology? To many students, before you entered the civil service examination field, you would have probably never heard the word anthropology. Only when you had to choose an optional and you were exploring which optional to choose, would you have heard that this is a good optional, it yields good results, and that's when you began to explore what's the nature and what's the kind of issues that you have to study in anthropology. So now we'll understand what is the meaning of anthropology and what is the scope of anthropology very briefly. So anthro, the meaning of the word anthro is man. Ology is science. So put simply, anthropology is the science of man. So anthropology tries to study man in a holistic way. It's a holistic study, holistic as well as integrated study of man. And what do we mean by holistic and integrated study? Holistic and integrated study in anthropology is broadly done in this 4 ways. That is, we first try to understand the cultural background of man, because culture is unique to Homo sapiens. No other species has this concept called culture. Have you ever seen chimpanzees have tools, or chimpanzees have complex social organizations, hierarchy, inequality, society? No, none of these exist. So humans have the unique ability that we call as culture. So anthropology, while trying to understand man, it begins with the study of culture as well as society. And here we discuss various things like kinship, economic life, family life, marriage. We discuss political structures, we discuss religion and all the other cultural aspects of man. And not just the culture, this tells us only the present culture. This tells us only the present culture. We are also interested in the past of the culture. How did culture evolve from the beginning stage to where it is today? And that is the focus of another sub-discipline called cultural, or this is called the study of cultural evolution. So here we are trying to understand the journey of cultural development. So in cultural anthropology, we study the present state of culture. In archaeology, our focus is on the past of culture. And here our story begins with the prehistoric man. We begin with Stone Age. And you'll be surprised to know that culture did not begin with Homo sapiens. There were other human-like species which went extinct, which gave rise to something that we call as culture. So culture begins with a species called Homo habilis, which made the first tools. Then you had Homo erectus and Homo neanderthals. All of these species are no longer alive, they're extinct. So here in archaeology, we delve into the past, the cultural past and the cultural roots. And our journey begins with Stone Age, that is the Paleolithic age. Then we look at the Mesolithic age, and then we focus on Neolithic and so on. So cultural past, cultural present. And anthropology is different from sociology and other subjects in the sense that anthropology doesn't confine itself to only cultural discussion of man, so that is the main theme. Anthropology also examines the question, what does it mean to be a man from a biological point of view? From a biological point of view, what does it mean to be a man? That is to ask, how is man's biology unique? And if you ask that question, you will get many surprising answers. You will notice that humans are the only species which stand erect on their 2 limbs, and as a result, the other 2 limbs are free. In all the most other primates and other species that we know, all the 4 limbs are used for locomotion. But when you look at Homo sapiens, only 2 limbs are used for locomotion, that is movement of the body, and the other 2 are free. And this was a great blessing. The freed hands were then used to make tools, carry weights, and move long distances. So, in biological anthropology, we will ask the question, what was the journey? What does it mean to be human? What are the biological features which distinguish humans from other species first? And second, we also discuss the journey of this biological transition. How did we begin? We begin with ape, that is chimpanzees, and from that stage, how did we arrive to become Homo sapiens? What are the various steps involved in this large journey? And our story here will start with around 4 million years ago. And you will be surprised to know that around 4 million years ago, first human-like species appeared on the planet, and Homo sapiens arrived only around 2 lakh years ago. That's all. And not just that, we are also interested in studying, after studying human evolution, we are also interested in studying human variation. That is, how are the present humans different? All the present living humans are not alike. They are different from one another. They have different skin colors, they have different body structures, they also vary in terms of blood groups, their immunity levels, and so on and so forth. So we'll first understand what is the nature of variation. Second, we'll try to understand what is the roots or what is the basis for this variation. Take skin color for instance. Some have dark skin, some have white skin. But is this so random? No, not really. You will notice that dark skin is found closer to equator, fair skin is found away from equator. So closer to equator, those who have dark skin have an advantage. That's why many have dark skin near equator. Away from equator, light skin has advantage. So those who are away from equator generally tend to have white skin. So like this, we are not just going to study the variation, we are also going to explain the cause of the variation. And after doing so, we will then move on to the last subject. So first is present culture, second is cultural past, third is the biological basis. Here we study the evolution of human body, and also we study how the present human body is different. And finally, the other discipline of anthropology is anthropological linguistics. This is an emerging discipline which tries to address things like the origins of language, the structure of language, how language can be used differently in different social contexts, and how language can influence our thinking, and so on and so forth. This is the other branch. Though this is an emerging discipline, it is not really a major theme for UPSC anthropology. In UPSC, for civil service examination, the other 3 are given more importance. Now, you will notice that there is a 5th area, applied anthropology. Applied anthropology is application of all the knowledge that we gather in anthropology, and the applied anthropology is a theme that cuts across all the other 4 branches. There are applications in cultural, archaeology, biological, as well as anthropological linguistics. So in a nutshell, this is anthropology for you, my young friends. Anthropology is a holistic study of man in all aspects. And anthropology differs from sociology in that sociology studies man only from social point of view, and sociology focuses mostly on urban societies. Anthropology studies man not just from cultural social point of view, but also from biological point of view. And more importantly, anthropology focuses on simple societies, that is tribal societies and rural societies. The focus of sociology is largely on urban societies. That's how these 2 disciplines, though they are called sister disciplines, they have their own unique areas of focus. I hope this helps you understand and answer the simplest question, what is anthropology?